ASL Prime League.
The ASL Season 5, Prime League Legacy of the Void. This is the winner's match for the round of 32, Group B. In the top right-hand corner of Moonlight Madness, the man with that extractor madness from Team Ascension. It is the pink Zerg player, Bioice.
And his opponent down here in the bottom left, presenting the rival SC2 League, it is the green Protoss, Pure.
Oh yeah, Pure Adept, as we saw in Game 1 of him versus End of Line. So I'm wondering if he's going to maybe pull that build out again versus Bioice. Definitely worked really well. We'll have to see how Bioice will kind of pull out his own builds. Looking pretty standard so far. You can always go for a little bit of extra gas. Only 25 minerals, obviously, as Zerg, so that extra gas always is nice. And I've been seeing recently just a lot of speed into roaches, but will it be able to deal with what looks like a cannon rush?
Yeah, I don't think this is a real commitment to a cannon rush by Pure.
No,
otherwise, he wouldn't have built it in vision of the hatchery. He just wants to make Bioice force this kind of overreaction from him. Yeah, there we go. But very measured reaction by Bioice. Just 4 probes pulled, just enough to kind of threaten the pylon, want to chase around the probe and make sure it didn't place down a cannon. So pretty nice there by Pure. Although there was the possibility as well that if Bioice had just gone, nah, he's just faking me out, I don't think he'd do that, then Pure actually could have.
Yeah, goes for it.
Opening.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's an intense mind game all in itself, and you might as well as Bioice just say, you know what, I'll defend it. It's like I've seen a couple Terrans and Legacy of the Void just feign a bunker while they're going Reaper fast expand. And you can throw the Reaper in the bunker. If they don't do anything about it, it works fantastic. But most likely they're going to pull a couple workers, do whatever to try to defend it when you can't afford that early bunker as Terran and Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, for sure. Try and make use of that. But for now that Pro's been chased down, Bioice can feel pretty comfortable taking that third base. One of the nice things about Moonlight is it's a safer third base location. You can take this as your natural, but most races, for one reason or another, prefer taking the more forward, more outward base as their natural, and then the one covered by rocks as the third. So it is a pretty safe, pretty easy third to take. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Pure move towards that pretty quickly. Although actually, he does have a cannon back here that's working away in these rocks. So maybe he wants to. Maybe this is a sign of a 2-base all-in.
Yeah, and kind of to go along with that, maybe he does not want to waste the gas on a sentry to force field that off. He is at the moment at 400 gas, though. Just uses it all up right there, throwing down the double Stargate. So yeah, definitely does not want to waste gas on a sentry to force field that off, and just keeping it up, bring it down just enough so he can kill it. I think maybe in one shot. No, not quite one shot, 2 shots, but still. Fracture the army in half and deal with it with your Stargate.
Yeah, very nice. Gives him a couple options, and he has.
I always don't care though. But there's no Overlord speed this time, so it will be a lot slower against Stargate. I'm guessing it's going to be a Void Ray. Definitely tend to lean towards that. And, just
bam, 2 shots.
No, the probe. Oh man, the probe's.
He was the best of us.
Locked in a room with a couple angry Lings in real life. I mean, Lings are supposed to be like a little bit big. I mean, they're pretty big dog size, so it's going to be pretty scary if you're an actual person dealing with it.
Yeah.
Tiger size? I mean, that's what I was saying. Pretty big dog size.
Very big dogs, yeah.
Very big.
This Overlord should be able to just about unload most of the Lings before the cannon kills it, but he's playing with fire a little bit. So he's going to move himself around, find a different angle to come in, but Pure's going to have a couple Void Rays out.
At least for now, this will keep Pure kind of back defensively. Even once those Void Rays are out, Pure's going to be playing it really, not necessarily safe, but as long as Overlord's on the map and Lings, he will. Off the back of this, looks like it's going to be roaches for Bioice, and they may hit by the time these lings are kind of cleaned up. Oh, they do not want to go for that cannon. At the moment, there is no mothership core out, so none of that photon overcharge will be going down. Drones really nicely will go behind that cannon with their drilling, with that really nice ability right there, and will almost save all of them. Only 2 workers coming down, but at the moment out on the map, there are 8 roaches, a couple more roaches on the way. Roach speed is about halfway done, and Hydralisk Den because of the scattered Void Rays.
Yeah, and all in all, things shaping up pretty nicely for Bioice. I mean, it wasn't a hugely game-changing ling drop, but on the other hand,
Yeah.
it wasn't a huge commitment. Those lings he likely would have had them anyway. So pretty nice just to get a couple of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2, maybe 3 probes. This is a nice move though, breaking down these rocks. Just kind of cuts off reinforcements, cuts off this third a little bit, and it ensures that Pure can really deal with it effectively with these couple Void Rays. But he's going to back off that Spore Caller finishing up through pretty soon. But 4 Void Rays, more than enough.
Yeah, Pure just waiting a couple seconds for the second 2 Void Rays, or the second pair of Void Rays to come in, but now there's too many Hydras here. Oh, 1 Void Ray will go down there, and that Spore Crawler stays alive. Thankfully, he does at least get the Queen there. But for now, the Void Rays will be able to work away on the Hydras. Looks like, I was going to say, maybe the Roaches from how they are positioned. It looks like maybe they'll be able to do that. Off the back of this, not really much aggression, but still the carriers coming out of Pure. These 3 Void Rays are as much as he'll commit to this aggression, at least for now. But it will force out a decent amount of Hydras, which is maybe not what he wanted. For now, though, he will be able to do that. Maybe I'd prefer like going for the pocket third base, instead of the kind of forward one. So maybe he could feign gateway pressure, or feign gateway and not get all the Hydras to be made.
Yeah, possibly. But the last time we saw Pure do this build, he had a lot of minerals to spare with all this gas being pumped into the Golden Armada. And yeah, so why not pump that into a bunch of cannons on your third? And this is a great base to do that. A very, very tight choke to get up onto it. Makes it a little tough to kind of run up that when there's a bunch of cannons firing down on you. 1 or 2 will really, really cut this off. Bioice can try and commit to it anyway, but this leaves his third base fairly undefended, and 3 Void Rays make short work of just about any building they come up across.
Definitely. There are already 2 carriers out and 4 cannons at that third base position for Pure, so I don't know how well Bioice is going to be even able to move up this ramp. It's not like he can move by the cannons, and he's going to have to engage directly into them. Here the carriers moving across, they could do that. Oh, actually, do they do the release interceptors? I think that's what they did actually right there. Yeah, that's what they did. Won't quite get rid of those Hydras, but still, Hydras will force out a decent amount of cannons, kill some cannons there, and are just moving out across, or just moving around in the natural. There is the 1 sentry there. Maybe a Guardian Shield would help, but for now, I don't know. It's kind of a funny situation. I feel like if Bioice attacks Pure's army, Pure will win, but at the same time, Pure will lose a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a tough one to call. Hydras versus carriers tends to go very one-sided either way. It's
definitely
the Hydras can usually just either kill all the interceptors really, really quickly, or they can't, and that's because they're all dead. So it's a bit of a weird one. Bioice, these Vipers are going to help out a lot, yonking those carriers, their meaty carriers, into the waiting jaws of the Hydralisk. So we'll see how well Bioice is able to do that. Here we go. Release interceptors has been used. 1 carrier gets focused down very, very easily, but because release interceptors went down, these interceptors don't actually die until the Hydras deal with all of them, but they do, and that puts Pure in a very tough position.
Yep. What would have been nice for Pure, maybe going for a couple extra gateways to accompany those interceptors while they do the damage, because of the gateway army. Really, just either you go for the interceptors, you go for the gateway army. But in this case, now those carriers have to rebuild all the interceptors they have. Probes are actually evac'd, just pulled back out of there, and now let's see how the battle goes down. Hydralisk will be focusing down the Void Rays here, not the carriers, so the carriers get the damage done and will clean this up. And the Vipers got to be careful not to meander or not to hang out there for too long. But probes are actually going to be pulled to try to deal with this. Will barely clean it up. I think Pure did not need to do that, but he cleans up that attack. Yet at the same time, Bioice just has another attack already waiting to hit the third base. Viper is still alive, which are the important part. As you were mentioning, Trigonal can pull these carriers out of position, which is the biggest issue with dealing with them.
Yeah, but there's quite a few carriers now, and they're focusing down one Viper very, very easily. They're even they're flying over the hide list, though, which gets a little bit dicey. So 2 carriers is a big loss. Viper yoink.
GG.
Third carrier. Pure, and GG is called. Bioice picks up a 3rd consecutive win.
Welcome, guys, to ASL Season 5 Prime League Legacy of the Void Beta Tournament. Here we are on Ruins of Ceres, and this player in the top right-hand corner is 1 game away from not quite qualifying, but he will have another chance if that is the situation. It is from Team Ascension, the Pink Zerg player, Bioice. Currently down a game versus opponent in the bottom right.
His opponent in the bottom right is, of course, from rival SC2 League, the Green Protoss player, Pure.
This player, relatively unknown, shining pretty well in this group. I know at first I was talking to Little Cannon, and he was like, well, it's Bioice, and then no one else in the group matters. And kind of other players saying that, you know what, in a lot of groups, oh, it's X and no one else matters, no one knows it. But Pure, shining really well. He's got Legacy of the Void strats down, but can he take it back? He's got to win this game and the next game to advance first place in this group. But on the other hand, Bioice, I mean, he's playing it one way and he's playing it well. He's playing it reactively, scouting out his opponent and saying, this is what you're doing, okay, I'll counter it. Not just saying, I'm going for a roach all, and if it fails, I lose. He's playing it safely and macro heavy, which I like.
Yeah, so far Bioice is definitely matching up with Little Cannon's predictions. He's poised to 4-0 the group. Just this map stands between him and the first place advancement. Pure, though, he has that probe hidden in a similar sort of location to where he last pulled off his Adaptor, and we'll see whether he's going to go for it again. But so far, looks like pretty much the same opening to me.
Yeah, definitely. Same opening pretty much from both these players, just kind of how it looks. But as you're mentioning, Pure still has the opportunity to pull out some sort of gateway push. And it's kind of funny in Legacy of the Void. You got that 2-second warp in with a gateway. So it's a little bit later of a push, but when it does hit, it hits a lot faster, and you can reinforce and keep the pressure up as Protoss a lot better. For now, Bioice, though, taken a relatively quick third base, I want to say. No lings, nothing out yet. 4 lings on the way, and I don't think they'll be able to get into Pure's base. He's got a depths on the way, but it doesn't look like it'll be a rush, at least for now. Still, no proxy pylon, just the safety, or just the assuredness of, okay, I got a pylon, I can scout, or I got a probe, I can scout if I need to. I can throw down a pylon if I need to. Providing yourself with a lot more opportunities to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more opportunities you have to succeed, then statistically, the more often you'll succeed. So we'll see. This time at Bioice, it's going to be scouting around in contrast to last time Pure used this building. He's going to see this. This means that at the very least, he's going to kind of be able to stop the gateway. Oh, he surrounds this adept as well. It's a little bit too late for you, my friend. No ghosting out of this one. And takes down 1 or 2 lings, but not going to be enough. And yeah, there's no point trying that gateway. This is going to be so tough for Pure. There's almost no chance he can try and warp in, but 16 seconds is not enough.
No. Yeah. If there was a gateway there, then you can do the clutch warp and feel real good about yourself, but it's not going to be the situation. Not only does that first adept, it denied any early kills, but now the adept count, it cannot snowball. Neither can he get that early scout off, so these lings have a chance to do some damage. It's still 5 adepts. Pretty darn sure one-shot any ling.
That and a little more.
They actually incinerate the carcass afterwards, just leaving nothing.
Very much so. But yeah, I mean, this put pretty much a complete damper on the actual attack by Pure. He might try and move out with this next round of warp-ins. Yeah, he is going to go for it. But this leaves him a little run. Oh, Bioice spots it as well. Perfectly positioned Ling. It's going to give him an opportunity to run back in. And Pure, he's used his ghost. He doesn't have any easy way of returning home. Yep, exactly. Immediately spotted there. And no
Not the
warp in, no
sentry.
blocking the ramp. There's not enough for another warp in at home. 2 second, 2 second warp in is going to help out a little, but there's not enough for another Photon Overcharge up in the main. These adepts get surrounded, they get taken down so easily. Here we see the power of the defensive warp in, though, actually enabling Pure to handle this pretty nicely. And across the map, the third base is being routed for Bioice.
Yeah, that third base is being routed. There's one queen went down, another queen in production, but 8 roaches will join these 4 currently out on the map, hopefully, to deny this. And as you're mentioning, it's, do I attack the Adepts or do I go after the Shades? In this case, the roaches were already at the natural base, and there's the Adepts Ghosts moving out with those drones. Always really scary. Drones will decide, you know what, we're sticking with the roaches, but again, goes into the main. Currently out on the map, there are 14 roaches, but too slow to actually deal with these Adepts. Off the back of this, looks like a Warp Prism. Maybe it'll be able to pick up some of these Adepts, but they may get out on their own. Something I'd like to ask really quickly. Mass Recall cost 100 energy before, right? Because now it costs 50.
Yeah, I do remember that cost actually, but yeah, that changes things a little.
Yeah, I don't remember that being announced, but...
Yeah, no, I remember it being announced, but it was something to do with, like, enabling attacks somewhat similar to these, actually. But Bioice has dealt with this better than Tron reference guy.
End of line.
End of line. Yeah, but still, 16 workers went down. Another adept drop coming in here. I assume that's adepts in there. Yep. It's going to do a bit more damage. Another couple going down. And this really shows just how difficult it is to deal with. It's so challenging. Even when Bioice gets a bit of damage done, forcing the warp-ins at home, he still loses an entire mineral line of drones, and then some more from the warp-in. But he has a ton of roaches here. Way more than End of Line came in with. And this is going to be so tough for Pure to deal with. We'll see if he can manage it, though. Nice surround on these roaches, but the probes are going to be falling in droves. The Immortal comes in, the Hardened Shield comes down, and then falls. And so does the Immortal following shortly afterwards. Still, a fair few roaches, but a manageable number now. And Pure, the store count is going to start falling, but it looks like he will have dealt with these roaches from Bioice. A sentry has walked in just again, clutch in time to hold that ramp. And it looks like Bioice is going to have to trade these roaches off for what he can as the Photon Overcharge pummels down.
Yeah, he will lose those 22 roaches with speed, but he does even up the worker, or actually he evens up the workers killed 25 to 26. That does leave them only 1 worker difference, actually, even in income. So I think it was worth it. He had to do that. But as you were mentioning earlier, Trigonal, even when he had the roaches ready, it was hard to deal with that. That's just how good the Adept pushes are. And now Pure has another push that could possibly move across the map. Again, as I was mentioning before, also Mass Recall only 50 energy, so possibility of something like that. Still, the Adept drops are gonna be attempted, and I think they should be able to kill this Queen. Yeah, it is. But again, roaches will not be at home to defend, or only a couple at least, because they're on the other side of the map, hoping to attack the natural again. The army of Pure is interesting position.
Yep. Oh, that Immortal.
Oh no!
No barrier on that. Gets taken down. No problemo. And this is going to be more and more drones coming down across the map. Of course, Pure being so annoying with that Warp Prism. Another Photon Overcharge comes in, and is he going to get the warp in this time on the ramp? No! The roaches get all the way in. The harass on going across the other side of the map, and these roaches can get some more damage done towards that middle line. Focusing down the probe is Bioice. He wants to get the economic damage. He knows he can't fight the army. He knows he's not getting anything done there. So he's doing what he can here. And what he can looks to be about 13 workers. So more and more harass, more and more economic damage. But again, this is the Adepts coming in, and the power of that extra pickup range on that warp prism. So annoying. Couple warp pins there. I don't know. They're doing pretty well against these roaches.
Yeah, that kind of blink micro that you can do with warp prisms now. But the biggest thing you gotta remember here is, even though Bioice has managed to even up the worker counts a couple times, he loses his roach force each time. While, yes, the first attack of Adepts went down Pure, still, the Warp Prism, it just provides more sustainable harassment, where Bioice has to sacrifice his army each time. So, in the end, I feel like Pure gets out better in this stick of at least just workers killed-wise. And as you were saying, Bioice is now in a scary position. He's completely pulled back. Now, if there are the warp-ins, his roaches kill the warp-ins a lot quicker, but there's two adepts and a stalker already in that warp prism, and they're just looking to attack, while in the front, this third base is going to be at jeopardy because there are stalkers, immortals, and sentries looking to kill it, and there's enough sentries there to really just completely negate the small amount of roaches.
Yeah, and 1-1 finishing up as well for Pure. The warping in the main as well, bunch more adepts. Tumult goes down, isn't really going to catch too much. A couple of workers, maybe, but this is a really, really scary army. As you say, Bioice has been having to sack his roaches every single time, which left his army very, very weak. And he moves in now. Great force fields, though. Cut off a lot of these roaches. Pure's going to be able to deal with them in isolation without the hiders coming down him, without the overwhelming mass of those roaches. And this warp prism really coming into its own there with that 2-second warping speed under it. And the army looks so puny for Bioice. Pure might be about to show how it's done in actually taking down the Canadian Zerg player.
Yep. This Warp Prism micro is so good. Even though Pure does not have Blink, it still effectively can do that with a little bit more micro into it. Hardened Shields doesn't quite go down on the Immortal. It's still Roaches and Hydras are trading evenly for Stalkers, which is not where Bioice wants to be here. Pure is doing so well with his micro, pulling back those Stalkers into the Warp Prism, and then when he does need to warp in, it's only 2 seconds. Instantly, the Warp Prism can get back to the fight. For now, though, Pure actually says, you know what? I can't keep competing with that, surprisingly enough, and I guess Bioice moves on.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.